today's class and tutorial. So today we are going to be working or discussing or learning about operators and control structure, right? So let's begin without wasting much of our time. So we start with operators. In the operators, you can see we have arithmetic operators, assignment operators, logical operators, comparison operators. We also have control structure, which is conditional statement, switch statement, and loops, right? So now we are going to be starting with arithmetic operators. Now, first of all, what is arithmetic operators? Arithmetic operators is just the normal operators you know right from primary school days. The multiplication, the division, addition, subtraction, and so many of them out there, right? So these are just the basic arithmetic operators. So we are going to be putting it into practice. Okay. Okay. We're starting from here. Arithmetic operators. So now we create a variable a, we assign it to 2, and then we terminate the line of code with a semicolon as you already been told. Then we create another variable, we call it b, we assign it to 3, we terminate the line of the code with a semicolon, then come down. We are now going to be using arithmetic operators. In this case we are going to be using addition. So I know I've not taught you guys the if condition, which is the control structure, but we are coming down there. But before we can be able to test out our arithmetic operators, we have to make use of okay, let's not use an if condition, right? Let's do results. Let's create another variable, call it results, assign it to a using arithmetic operator addition plus b, terminate the line of code. Now echo result, right? Echo result. So if we echo result, we are going to be getting the addition of 2 and 3. So when we run this, wow, what is the problem? Are we getting anything wrong? Why is it not showing? Why is it not showing? Why is it not showing? Okay. I think everything seems right here. Let's kind of refresh, restart, then preview. Okay, it's actually from the notebook. Let's try to do this. Okay. Oh, everything started afresh. Okay, that's not a problem. Let's arithmetic operators. So firstly, we create a variable called a, we assign it to 2, terminate the line of code, create a variable called b, we assign it to 3, terminate the line of code, create another variable result where we are going to be doing the addition, then equals to a, variable a plus variable b. Right now we are going to be echoing results, variable results. So if you come here, slash learning dot php, I'm thinking where I'm getting the slash learning dot php. That is the name of my file. Okay, this is the name of the file I'm writing my code inside. You can see it here, learning.php. So that is it. If you run it, we are getting what we call 5. You can see it there. We are getting 5. That is the addition of a and b, which is 2 and 3. So now let's multiply. Multiplication, one of the arithmetic operators too. Let's multiply 2 minus 3. I think that should be giving us minus 1. Okay, it works. So let's do right, think this multiplication. So 2 times 3 is 6, and so on. So this is basically when we say arithmetic operator, this is basically what we are meaning, making use of those arithmetic operators to multiply, add any of the variables and your choices, right? Sometimes in your coding you get to use them constantly too, depending on what you are working on or building. So that is it for us in arithmetic operators. We comment it, then we move over to, okay, what is the next one? Assignment operators, right? We're going to move over to assignment operators. Okay, assignment operators. Assignment operators. So now what is this assignment operators? Assignment operator is something you use to assign um to something, right? Maybe you assign a value to a variable. What do you make use of in assigning these things? It is the equals sign, right? So let's create a. Now we want to assign a the value 2, right? So how do we assign it? You have to use the what we call assignment operator, which is equals to 2. You've assigned variable a the value of 2, right? And you can use I think not equals to 2. That is also an assignment operator. Not, the not is this exclamation mark. That's what you use as not in PHP. So this is basically what we mean by assignment operator, right? There is nothing much in there. So we move forward to, I think the next one in line is logical operators. Yes, we have what's called logical operators, and the ones you make use of constantly in these logical operators is the operators you make use of constantly in these logical operators are just 3: the and, the or, and the not. So let me, okay, logical operators, right? Okay, so we have the not, we have the or, and we have the and. Now in our case in PHP, we don't refer to them as not, or, and. There is a symbol you use to refer to any of this. Now let's go to this. Okay, we are going to be using a condition to do this. First of all, we are going to create a variable. We call it variable a equals to 5. Terminate the line of code. Variable b equals to 6. Terminate the line of code. Let's start with this first. If we need more, we can add. If a, okay, now before I start with the coding examples, I will explain what the not, the and or is. A not condition is saying if this thing is not equals to this thing, check it if they are equal. If they are not, that is the not condition. If this thing is not equals to this thing, if variable a is not equals to variable b, right, give me this response. Now the and response is something like let's assume you gave a condition and you want to add another condition, you make use of the and, right, to conjoin them together. Now using an and, the difference between the and the or is that, because they are the same thing, is that the two conditions given must be met before that code will run. While the or condition, either of them can be met. Do you understand? Let me proceed so you understand better. Now for the and, we say which one? If variable a equals 5, right? And as I told you, don't write and like the normal and in PHP. Use a symbol. The symbol is this. Okay, that symbol, if you write it here, will it show? Okay, just that's the symbol. And now we say if a is equals to 5 and b is what? Equals to 6. Now it is a must that these conditions will be met. It is a must that variable a must be 5 and variable b must be 6 for anything to run under this condition. So if it is true, if the two of them is met, then echo yes, right? So if I run this code, I will be getting yes. That is the and condition. Now let me show you something. for you to believe this. If I say the b, if I do it equals to 7, I will now put an else condition just in case the condition is not met, so I can see something to replace. I will now do no, right? So, and as I told you, the two conditions must be met before it will run. So now that the two condition is not met, the b, you can see here that the variable b is 6, and I'm saying variable b is 7, and variable a is 5. So I said if the two of them, if this one is this and if this one is this, equal yes. So, and if not, equal no. So when I run this, I expect a no, because the two of them is not met. Okay, I didn't add a semicolon here. I didn't terminate the code. You see, I'm getting a no. Why? Because this is an and the two of them must be true. B must be 6 and A must be 5 for and condition to run. So now in the case of or, let's take out the and symbol and use and or. Now in the case of symbol, as far as A is equal A, this condition here, this one here is correct. It doesn't care about this, it will run. As far as 1, even if I gave 10 conditions here, as far as one among those 10 conditions is true, it will run. But and all of those conditions must be true. If not, it will not run. Right? So now that I'm using an or, I will not get no, I will get yes. Because A is equals to 5, but B is not equals to 7, is equals to 6. But as far as I'm using an or condition, as far as 1 is correct, it should run yes. So let's run it like this, and we get a yes, because one of these conditions is correct. And in the case of the not, you make use of this. Oh, I already showed you the exclamation mark, my bad. So that is logical operator for you. Nothing much, nothing less, right? You get to make use of these operators constantly the more you code and the more you continue your journey in tech, right? Okay, so the next one there is comparison operators. Now we are going to be going to this logical operators, comparison operators, right? Operators. Now the comparison operators is what me and you have been using here since, right? I just give you what it is. I'm saying if A is equals to 5, what am I doing? I'm comparing. Let me use the same code. That is the same thing. Comparison operators. I'm comparing the variable A with this one 5. I'm saying check if A is equals to 5. Compare the two of them. Now apart from the equals is not the only comparison operator. There is a greater than, there is a less than, there is not less than. As you can see the not explained, that is what we use as not in PHP. You don't just use the normal not. There is not greater than, there is not equals to, and all of that. These are what comparison operators. You just use it to compare two things, just like we've been doing here since. Just not the greater than, less than, not equals to, and all of that. They are comparison operators, right? Even if you use a single equals to, it will still compare it, right? It will still compare it. But normally 2 equals to is used for comparison, 1 equals to is used for assignment, and 3 is used to check, not only to compare but to also check the data types. So that is basically all that has to do with comparison operators, right? Okay. Okay, I comment this out. So the next in line is control structures, which we have been using constantly, but we'll go into it a bit more. So now this is a conditional statement. The first one in there is conditional statement. So now what is this conditional statement? It's just the normal, use it to check if a condition is met. If not, give this message, and if it is met, give this what message. That is, as the name implies, conditional statement. And what is that conditional statement? Is the if condition that me and you have been using constantly to check our comparison and all of that. So how does an if condition work? If I give my condition, right, I open a curly bracket, I now write, if the condition I put here is okay, give me this. But if it is not, that is when we have something we call else. If my condition is not met, I don't want to give any further condition, just give me what the just echo out what is in the else condition or parameter, right? So that is just basically what an if condition is. Now there is one if else condition or else if condition. So this is the if else, there is else if too. So now I say I have a condition. Let's write a array code. I will create a variable called grade. I will assign it a value. I will assign it to a value 60, right? I will now come here. I will say if grade, variable grade equals 60 echo a. That means give it the GPT a. Is it yeah. Well, I've forgotten what is using the I think in your GP. Yes, GP, right? So your university GP, if you are more than from 60 up, you have an A, right? So in a case whereby there is somebody has 15, what will now happen? You now do else if expect a condition. You don't just open a curly bracket just like you do. You can see you don't just open a curly bracket just like you are doing the else condition. As far as an else if, it expects what? A condition. You can see what is giving you there. It expects a condition. I will now check if grade equals 50 echo B. The GP is B. Now that is not all. I want to also check for 40, 30. Now I will now write X if, which I told you accept a condition. A bracket, inside the bracket write the condition. If grade equals 40, I think we should stop at 40, right? Echo C. And all of this, I've not been terminating it. Then now that I've given all my conditions, else what if the person doesn't have 40, have less than 40, 30, 20, 10? Now I will not say X. Apart from all these conditions I've given, any other thing less than this or other than this, give them echo failed. Now with this, I've done an if condition. If else and else if condition is here, right? So if I run this code, I should be getting an A. I'm getting an A. So let me switch it to 50. Sorry, 50. I should be getting a B. I'm getting a B. Now let me turn it to 40. I'm getting a C. And if I turn it to 10, I should be getting failed. So this is basically how the if else if condition works, and you constantly see us. You see this, you use it constantly on everyday life as a programmer, you will surely make use of it. So okay, let's move on to the next in line. A switch case. Now a switch case is the same as if condition. It's just a different one. Like if condition, if you have multiple conditions to give, use else if. So normally they use switch case when you have multiple condition, but now if condition also have an else if, so you can give multiple conditions as well, so the both of them work same. But let's see how a switch case works. Switch, first of all, we have a variable called grade, right? Okay, we have a variable grade. So first of all, let's start with switch. Okay, there is a auto completion in this PHP sandbox. When I click on it, so it expects me to put a variable. Now switch case, first of all, accept the variable you want to be comparing with, right? And the variable I want to be comparing with is what? Grade 60. But if it's an if condition, you will just if it's an if condition, you will just kind of how do I put it, write the condition inside the if here. But here you are just put the variable here, variable grade, right? When you put the variable grade, now what is the value that should be here? The value that should be here is what you expect. Let's assume, okay, it seems like I'm a bit confused. Yeah, I've actually, okay. So the value that should be here is what you expect to get. Let's say we want 60. So if grade is 60, we echo what we do here. We echo A. Now when you're using a switch case, you always break it after putting the first case, which is the first condition. If you're using an if condition, case is the same thing as else if condition. So after putting the first condition, you put a break, right, so that it doesn't loop to the other line. So after the first break, you know that you want more conditions, you put your case 2. Now what is the next value? 50. And then here echo echo B, right? So always terminate your code. Now after this, we also have another condition, so we put another case, and the value should be what again? I think 40. The value should be 40, and we echo C. And then after this is all we need. So if any of these things, if any of these conditions is not met, now come to the default and echo, just like the same thing you echo in the else condition here, just echo it in the default. Echo failed, right? So the grade is what the grade is 60, so I should be getting an A. So if I change it to 50, I should be getting a B. So this, you see that switch case work the same as if condition. So as far as you are using the else if, you can give multiple condition in the if condition, and if you prefer the switch case, you go for the switch case. They are the same. Okay, so that is it for switch case. The next in line is loops. Now we have different type. I think yes, is loops. So we have different types of loops. What is all this doing here? Assignment operator. Oh. Pardon my manners. Okay, so now we have what was I saying? Different loops. We have the for loop. We have I think I've tried that here before. Yeah, it's here. We have the for loop, we have the while loop, the for each loop, and we have the do while loop, right? So we'll be touching the for loop. First of all, okay, this is not supposed to be here. The for loop, right? I will do okay. For loop start with 4. You can see it will just automatically complete it for you. So now you assign it. Let's assume I want you to start. Let me explain better. For loop is a loop that used to maybe kind of list a series of numbers, an incrementing number. Maybe we want to list for number from 1 to 20, from 1 to 100. The for loop is the best method to use, right? So I now want to loop from 0. Okay, let's say I leave it from 0. I open the for loop, and then I create a variable called I. You can see it there. Let me just take it out. So I create a variable called I, and I assign it a value 0, right? So my I want this I to always run from, like, I want to run this I and return a variable, or the I, incrementing the I from 5 up, or let's say from 10 up, or from 10 down. Let's use less than 10. And then I, right, incrementing. What did I just do? I assigned this I the value of 0. I now said my I should run should just display me numbers from 0 to 10, like from 0 to 9, because I said less than 10. This is what I use, less than 10. It should run from 0 to 9, not more than 9, from 0 to 9, which in normal counting is still from 1 to 10. So that is it. So for it to give me all those numbers from 0 to 9, I have to put plus, but that is incrementing. Plus plus is incrementing. It will keep increasing till it meets this condition. That is just it. So if I have put in all this condition, what do I now do next? I will come down here and I now echo, let's just say echo my I, variable I, right? And I have to remember, I have to concatenate with a break tag, so all those numbers will not be in one line. So as I told you before, I think this is okay. If I run this, I get from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So if somebody should tell you, okay, please go ahead, even if it's there, I think, yeah, something like that. Remember, it's in the second line that you put in your condition. If you want to find the odd number, percentage, and all of that, and increment it, you just return all of that for you. So if I say come bring a number that is greater than, okay, let's use less than 20. Less than 20. Okay, so it will run till 19. That 0 is 1 for it. You can see that. So I first of all, let's assume, okay, I've not actually, let me try this. Okay, so I assigned it the value of 1. So I want it to start counting from 1. It will still stop at what? 19, but I said less than 20. It cannot touch 20 because less than 20. So it will surely stop at 19. That is the condition I gave here. Same thing, let me show you a while loop. A while loop keep running while the condition is met. While loop runs while the condition is met. But the for loop just give the condition and echo it, right? So we are going to be using the same condition for the while loop. Okay, I will first of all create a variable I, assign it a value 0 because I want it to start counting from 0. Then I will now create a while. I will now write a while loop. So in here I will write my code. I remember I've assigned my I a 0. I will now say I, that is my condition, I should be less than 10. I mean, this is enough to go to run, right? I've already assigned a value. The difference between the for loop and the while loop, as I see here, is that the for loop you assign your value, your variable, your condition, the incrementing, all of them should be where inside that for loop bracket. But in while loop, you create the value, I mean the variable outside, then inside the while you put your condition, then inside the where you are going to echo whatever it is you want to echo, you now start the incrementing. That is just it. So let's say we echo, of course we are going to be echoing the I. Okay, let me be out tag, but I think this is okay. So we have to increment it because else it will just return 1 for us. Variable I plus plus. So when I run this, I get it empty. So if I want it to start from 1, it will start from 1. This is it. So this is just basically how to use your while loop, your for loop, and there's another one that is the for each loop. First of all, for each loop is how to you loop through list of arrays. Now when you have let's say array, this square bracket is used to know array, is used to put in arrays, right? But in the case whereby you are not using a square bracket, that means it is not an array. So you have to now write array brackets. Inside it, you now put in the list of everything. That means you've cast everything inside of it as an array. But without this, you can just open a square bracket. Whatever that is inside this square bracket is known as an array. Let's say apple, apple, orange, orange, banana. All of this is an array. Same thing as far as if you come here, type the array, put a bracket. Everything here is an array too. right? But I normally prefer the square bracket. I just want to show you this. I think I've done something like that here. So I just want to show you the difference and how you can easily access arrays, right? I've know that this thing is an array. Is that it is cast this way or it is in a square bracket is an array. Just know that. Okay, let's just start with the one I already have here. So we have to let's create a variable colors, right? Then okay, I cast it as an array, but I will prefer to use the square bracket. Okay, red, and I create the green, and I create the blue, and I think this is it. So I will now loop through everything for each colors as color. So I will now echo whatever it is I want to echo. So what I'm echoing here now, I will just return color. Echo, sorry for the return, echo color. Now I will have to use a break tag. Okay, so I look through this. It should return 1 1 1. It shouldn't return in one for okay, it returned 1 1 1 separately. Remember it was together, but when I look through it I will get it 1 1 1, right? So that is basically the for loop. There's for each loop which you loop through the list of an array. The while loop, you loop through, you loop through as far as the condition is met. The for loop the same thing. And I think this is basically all that has to do with the loops and the control structures, the operators, and all of that. So I really hope I was able to impart some knowledge to you today, and you don't get confused. If you have questions, you can ask in the back end track and tag me. If I deem it needful to answer, as far as it's a question that you don't know and all of that, I will respond. Surely I will respond. So please, thank you for your time and for today's class. I'm hoping to see you when you start submitting your task, because you surely get a task on this. Thank you guys. Thank you once again. Bye.